You know, Liam, it's fascinating. That very morning when Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent was out there on CNBC, just, saying the US and China would start talking about AI safety, the contract market, it was already doing something completely different. It was pricing a federal AI executive order at 45 cents on the dollar, a full 15 points above what every single diplomatic readout from Beijing was implying. Resolution date, July 31st. We're talking 6.5 weeks from that morning. The press conference, my dear, it's just the cover, isn't it? The true architecture, it's somewhere else entirely.
Fascinating, Amara. So you're saying what we hear publicly, it's almost like a misdirection then, because the real movement, the actual intention, is already priced into these contracts, and that's happening like behind the scenes, away from the headlines.
Precisely, darling, exactly. The Washington Post, they'd reported just 4 days earlier that the administration, it's sharply split over giving US intelligence agencies a role in evaluating AI models, a proposal that wasn't even public yet, mind you. And the Commerce Department's evaluation of state AI laws, well, it was due March 11th. It's now 65 days overdue. The press conference says talks are beginning. The order book, however, it whispers that the instrument is mostly written. It's all about where you're looking, isn't it?
Wow. Okay, so this isn't just about AI then, is it? It feels like you're talking about a much broader pattern here, Amara. Are we seeing this kind of divergence, for lack of a better word, in other areas too? Or is this really just an AI-specific thing? I mean, it's quite a thought that the real story is so far from the headlines.
Liam, my astute friend, you've hit on it. It's absolutely not just AI. It's like a thread woven through the entire tapestry. That same morning, believe it or not, the June Fed rate market, the one asking if the upper bound stays at 5.5% through the June meeting, it was pricing a cut at 0.22, roughly 1 in 5, meaning 4 in 5 were saying the rate band holds. Then there's the CA-Med, California Medicaid deferral, tightly confirmed by the order book the same week Vice President Vance and CMS Administrator Oz announced it. 3 different markets, darling, pricing 3 different pieces of the same grand architecture, all on the very same week.
And the news, bless 'em, they're probably reading these as totally separate stories then, right? Like, a Fed announcement, then a Medicaid thing, and then AI, just completely unrelated. But you're telling me they're not.
They are absolutely not 3 separate stories, Liam. No, they are one doctrinal posture, darling, across 3 vital domains. The executive branch, you see, interpreting existing authority to its outer limits in each of these areas, and the contract market, it's pricing the doctrine, not the little stories about the doctrine. It's a beautifully intricate dance.
Right, okay. That's a powerful way to put it. One doctrinal posture. So let's walk through the order then, this AI scenario you started with. Bessent says talks are beginning. The Post says this intelligence agency proposal exists but isn't public. And Commerce is way late on a directive. Most folks, they probably just see pure chaos in that. But for you, for us, there's a sequence in there, isn't there? A flow to it all.
There is a sequence, my dear. A very precise one. The AI Litigation Task Force, it became operational January 10th. The FTC was directed to issue a policy statement classifying state-mandated bias mitigation as a deceptive trade practice by March 11th. That deadline, well, it passed. Commerce was directed by the same deadline to publish an evaluation identifying state AI laws subject to referral, and that deadline also passed. Then the Washington Post reports the intelligence agency review proposal is internal but already advanced. 4 instruments, Liam, each on its own timeline, and none of them, crucially, require a single vote.
And the contract market, it reads that convergence, doesn't it? It sees all these separate timelines, these different pieces, and it puts them together to form a bigger picture before the public even knows what's happening.
It absolutely reads the convergence. That 15-point gap we discussed earlier, it's not enthusiasm, darling. No, it's structural inference.
Capital, it's pricing what the order book can clearly see in these agency timelines that the press conferences are structurally incapable of even naming. It's a very quiet, powerful language.
And what does that look like when it hits home, literally? Because for most of us, this is all just numbers and headlines, but it really does touch our lives. Like for a couple I was working with last week, teachers, looking at a starter home in the Inland Empire. They built their 2026 budget against the rate environment they were reading late 2024, let's say a 6.25 conventional 30-year. The number on their loan estimate this month tomorrow was 7.1. That's 85 basis points above where they modeled. On a $400,000 loan, that's roughly $220 a month, every single month for 30 years. The contract market knew that in March. They learned it last Tuesday.
Oh, Liam, that's precisely it. The live confirmation anchor on the broadcast side is Besant on CNBC, from the Trump-Xi summit. But the on-the-ground confirmation, darling, that's your couple in the Inland Empire. Both anchors, they point to the exact same instrument. One announces, the other prices. But can I surface something that hasn't quite landed in our conversation yet? Something even more intimate, perhaps? Please, Amara, tell me, because honestly, the way you connect these dots, it's always eye-opening. What else is sitting there beneath the surface?
The Vance and Oz announcement, my dear, May 13th, the $1.3 billion California Medicaid deferral, and that 6-month nationwide moratorium on new Medicaid enrollments for hospice and home health providers. Just think about that for a moment, Liam.
In Los Angeles County, darling, hundreds of hospice agencies, they've already absorbed payment suspensions in recent months. So if a family's home health provider exits the program for any reason, any week between now and November, the new provider pipeline is simply frozen. There is no replacement. The substitution path, Liam, it narrows.
Oh, right. And when it closes, I suppose the care coverage cost migrates from a federal payer onto the household balance sheet, doesn't it? Which means it lands on, the only really liquid asset most families have. It lands on home equity. That's what you mean when you draw a line through Besant's press conference, the Post's reporting, the Fed-John contract, and this Vance-Oz announcement. The line goes through the kitchen.
Absolutely. That is the convergence across 3 domains: AI architecture, monetary path, healthcare integrity, running on the same doctrinal motor. Executive authority interpreted at outer limits, agency timelines compressed below the legislative window, and the household, isn't a law firm. They can't settle the rate environment. They can't settle a Medicare moratorium. They absorb. And when that absorption hits a balance sheet already carrying 2 years of fuel-driven material costs, the floor under discretionary spending rises, quietly, on a lag, without an announcement.
So what's the consequence then, Amara? What's this timeline you're watching really mean for families? Like the one I was just talking about. Lay it out for us.
Right, dear. Locked in and unseen by many.
Exactly. Second, this Medicare home health moratorium, it runs through about November. LA County agencies that have already taken payment suspensions, they thin out. Substitution narrows, like you said. So care costs, they migrate to family balance sheets. And the most liquid asset most families hold is, of course, their health equity. It's a quiet but really significant pressure point on families. It's all connected.
Thank you so much for tuning in tonight, darlings. If you're finding this conversation as intriguing as we are, please do show us some love by liking this video, leaving a comment below, sharing it with your network, and of course, subscribing to help us grow. Now for the third crucial impact. That April fuel import spike, 16.3% in 1 month, lands squarely at the gas pump and grocery aisle on a 60 to 90-day lag. The discretionary floor absolutely rises. Mortgage rates don't move. The care coverage gap widens. The harder return, Liam, isn't a forecast. It's a sequence already in motion on 3 separate timelines that intersect at the household balance sheet in the 3rd quarter. The family signing in July, bless their hearts, won't see the convergence. They'll just see a number on a loan estimate.
That's the real gut punch, isn't it? The press conference, it's just not built to carry that kind of weight, that consequence for families.
It's not at all, darling, but the contract market carries that weight because it must resolve on a date. The press conference, it resolves on the next news cycle. The family, they resolve, at the closing table. So here is our watch, my love. By May 28th, the window the order book truly reads, AIEO 2026 either holds above 55 and this architecture gets confirmed in price, or it falls below 30 and the instrument dissolves back into agency drift. Watch that number. One contract, one threshold, 1 week.